Δεν είναι ότι το παρά.
Αλήθεια, άμα θέλεις όμως να πάω.
Είσαι πολύ καλός.
Μου έφερε στα δίνα καλά.
Αυτό είναι φυσικά, δεν είναι φυσικά το χαρίτης.
And it's not going to be the same, but because it happened the last minute, I'll try to do my best. Tracon, which is the Greece right now, which implemented this program. So in a way, we present Greece in the European Union. It was something that it was time-consuming, a lot of effort, because as you know, right now, the school is my help and help that you're going to see from the other partners of the Tracon, we managed to do it. It's one of the many lifelong learning programs. And it's a 2-year program, started on November 2011, supposed to continue, educate the teachers and educate also the students. University of Athens. The Consumers Institute, the new institute actually, for the consumers, the INCA. You can see also the website in case of CEO from Slovakia, another school from Romania. All those schools are going to be satellite, our school of course. If you want to visit and see more information, I think this is the best opportunity for you because Monday and Tuesday, all the partners, those are just a few that I managed to find a picture, but there are, believe me, there are many, and if you can imagine that each one has also, I don't know how many, the words have many meanings. When we're talking about smart, we might gonna think that smart consumer is the one who can find something in the best option. Also, when he's gonna buy or consume something, has to think about sustainable environment. Is it going to have any impact? So now, as we progress, they're becoming consumers at a very early age. We have now the media, which is not anymore only the TV, but we have. But does the whole project has anything to do with smart consuming? I can say yes, because if the students want to be moral values, which has appreciation of the environment, sustainability, then we can have later on citizens that are rational. We say today on the internet, you're going to see many times this word, sustainable economy. This phrase is a key phrase today because the biggest amount of money today goes to food. And food is directly linked with health. So if we can influence it, if we also, another thing is living within the limits of our natural environment. Today, we still forget that we have to consume, thinking always that there is a limited amount of resources on anything, whether it's food, whether metal or anything. It was created because we and the European Union discovered that it's not so common today to see educational programs that the school curricula also, they're not built on that base. They're built on a different base, and they don't take into account the consumer awareness. The teachers themselves, they are not trained for this. So even if you have a goodwill for this and you want to implement to your school, the teachers, they don't know how to do this. So one piece of this was training the teachers, and that's why Mr. Constantino, who was one of the trainees, even if they exist, there is not enough scientific proof that they are being implemented on the educational level. So the teachers and for the students are not the best ones. So in order to help them, they have to become rational product consumers. Other schools in our country and also abroad, that because of the progress of our society, the knowledge is broken. They are not having enough food. What is the connection between clean and drinkable water, and what is the connection with clouds? To succeed to that aim that we have, we can have a positive consumer behavior, which in the end is going to have extra information for everyone that needs, whether it's going to be a student, whether it's going to be a teacher. And to have a more positive consumer behavior and fill this gap of knowledge, which really is a big one. To see the problems that we face today is Greece with the economical crisis, were some years ago the same in Slovakia, Romania. So this is also another part to do simulations on the class level. Mr. Constantino do very many hands-on within class and talk about different disciplines, which today we lack. We have a big lack of consumer behavior among the school-age children. In our case, we kept the program for ages 7, 8, and 9. Innovative didactic material, which is already on the website with ready-made, customized lesson plans, and also given the ability today, the 5 partners, countries that are completely different on a cultural level, like Turkey, Slovakia, and Romania, and Greece, and Italy, to communicate.
Followed the course of the Harapopio University, me and Dr. Pitoulis, and I was amazed by how many things, by the cheapest thing, by the thing that is environmentally good and something that is going to last, to teach Tracon. So I'm going to actually show you what students produced with these lesson plans that me and Mr. The biggest, from a young age to, let's say, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, usually they don't buy big things, they buy food, influenced by their peers. Peers, TV, internet. No matter what parents say, they're going to get influenced most by their peers. Food they're buying, how helpful or dangerous it is to them. And we talked about recycling, which is another. Their target group is older guys, but a big, huge target group is young people, and they're doing everything. It's a huge business to get to share information about online shopping. It was, I think that all of my students are going to actually use this. And the research from INCA showed is the legislation was not that clear. It was vague. So there were companies. First of all, and I'm not sure if you know, I wanted to ask my students if they knew where the labels were located. Were they easy or hard for students to find labels? And we created posters. When you entered the theater, I think you saw some posters. So on this example, the left is a good food label. And again, I haven't touched, this is exactly the student's work. And you also, Mr. Titoulis, or Mr. Ademio actually, is going to explain a part on how to interpret these labels. It was another, is what the law says. Every product should have this on it. The name, the ingredients, allergens, the net weight, expiration date, information on how to use the product. Also, I want to mention something, the Tracon life situation other than a textbook exercise. I'm another student, and I'm very proud of my students and what they did. The impact to my students, we saw some videos that some people can actually die from these allergies. It's so important, it's very, very important to actually have that on the product. So it is very, very important, as I said, to have this label on it, and you will see something now that I found it very interesting. This is this labels on, but before that they didn't have to do that. So I find it very strange that so many companies would just have products we grew up with. February or March, and then we closed school, and during the summer I heard that in Greece now you can have expired. So this is a small video. Unfortunately, we have very few students. That I put this video together just to remind the students that participated. A lot of them did not actually know which one was the label, which, and definitely not how to read. So to use products that you have in a different way, and to be eco-centered consumers, which I will talk in a little while. Again, I'm not showing you my things. Recycling is a very big issue in this world. I really like how he said it. Who recycles in this world? The guest Jason says, hopefully you. And they did the whole research. We talked generally about recycling, but they found things about recycling. So this one was one of my. So we have all these cups from bottles, and that becomes this. Doing it now. So paper recycling, and we are in a school, we all use paper, and I think here on every recycled paper. So the students are actually recycling. Electronics recycling program, I think some guys created this kind of thing. She says that it stops pollution, it saves energy. I like that. They get crushed, you kind of know it, but it was a very nice thing through Tracon to discuss this in our classroom. I haven't seen this on a textbook, we wouldn't discuss this. The laws are not so clear about it. I know that there are laws that you cannot have advertisements about kids on a specific time, but there is a lot of ways that advertising companies, I like how to say it, because that's what it is. It is a lie. So you can sell it. Again, small photographs. The photographs on the right are actually good photographs. And it's a reality. I realized when I was talking with my students that this is what our kids love doing. They actually like it. The box, all the boxes that the companies have, the actual box would never fit what they're trying to sell. It's a huge. When I told them that we are going to shop online, they loved it. It was their favorite thing. So what happened is I gave them a budget. I gave them a lot of money. I gave them 12. Okay, video gaming. Okay, everybody needs a great video card to play. They're laughing if you see them there. But then you need a computer for school. You notice that he's actually using a software program called Excel. So it's not only that he's doing a research on, he's actually using Excel. And he was able to buy something a little bit. So she was able to save to her parents actually 600 euros. Great. I was very good. And now, this, you can look through different shops for the product you need. You don't waste any fuel for your car. and you find the stuff easier and quicker. Disadvantages, the photo might not use amount of time, and the site may be insecure. So they're reflecting also. It's not only part of Tracon is reflecting. So I remember me saying to Mr. Trakas after we did the class, I was ecstatic that we discovered that when you turn on your TV, energy in a little different way. We created an experiment with light bulbs. So used for many years. Fluorescent are not here, but we are having in our classroom fluorescent lights, and then LED lights are now very 2 seconds, because it's not a science class. The temperature, if the lamp is very hot, it means that a lot of the energy that you pay. We did this with the students. So actually, you pay a little. You don't buy the cheaper thing. It's what we discussed at the beginning. Buying the cheaper thing is not always the smart. For my students to remember what they did last year. We measured and as a feedback while you are watching this, for me, as a track, this is a site that I found a lot of lesson plans, and we upload actually all our lesson plans as ISA, I think.
Mr. Pitulis approached the subject of education, but some of them, if you actually see them, they're creative, a lot of creativity over there. And the end result satisfied the teacher, and with movies that there are around, like documentaries. And I would like to show you one, which triggered a lot. And actually, last year, because they thought that I was in charge, which Mr. Constantino, Mr. Pitulis know that we're even, there is no ramp over here, but they approached me the courage to continue and boost more, which I think Mr. Constantino, he said and he mentioned, and I wish if Mr. Pitulis was here, that we played is this one, which is from an Austrian. For a few minutes to see. Up to the point where it's going to enter to our plane. So they couldn't understand the meaning of can understand about things that they never knew. And all this mechanization of the progress that we have right now in the food industry, in a way it's completely unexplainable. We don't know exactly why this is happening. We don't know also why the rate is highest at the women and less at the men. But at the same time, try to give them, not to bring them in front of a desperate situation that there is no exit, but actually to teach them that there is an exit. Balanced diet, that was the part of Mr. Petulli actually. So, don't wait to be 25, they start at a very early age, starting interested about different things that had to do with cosmetics. Food additives, so on the cosmetics, he actually started with the history of the soap, what it's made of, when this thing started, so they were amazed that we tried. Mr. Petulli actually tried to see how many of those things the students recognized. Most of them were completely unknown. And he tried the skin, black like the ordinary, pushing through advertisement, but still a long list of unknown chemical things that even the chemists today. Then he explained what they have to do with this, how they can study the label. They come up to the humans, and he explained them, and they were shocked in a way that first they have to be tested on animals, and some animal tests, which is not pleasant, and also emphasize at the same time the good news that because of the awareness now in different societies, common food additives like sugar, which is the commonest, and explain what is the legal term today when you see the term traces of peanuts. And you think peanuts and rice, why? Because in the factories they have packaging of many different products, so that sometimes we need them to boost, like for example the flavor. There are special chemical things that they boost foods that some that Mr. Petulli has emphasized for the kids. So sugar, I think it's a very fine print, but I can do it. Sugar can promote tooth decay. Sugar, which is, if you read at the top, always it's amount per serving. Because many of the students will realize that they thought that the 1 gram, for example, over here was about the top. And you can be amazed by the amount of the sugar that we consume. Starbucks, you can see products that many of our kids, unfortunately, they are visitors. They can read the label and start to get into their brain the idea of reading the label first. So those are common products, and very nice speech. They actually invite them at TED.com to speak about school canteens and how we can change.
There's your month. And I took the liberty of putting in just the 5 years of elementary school sugar. That's my belief.
So,
Taking milk?
only for milk. Yeah, only for milk. It's amazing. 5 years. And he's trying to do the same. He has like an organization where they actually fund him for that purpose. And he did an amazing work. It was something completely unknown for the students, because most of them, when the fashion passes and we need to buy a new smartphone, we just buy the new smartphone. And we played also a lot of videos that, again, due to the limited time, we would love to play, but we cannot put them in line. This is unfortunately what happens today. And there's a lot of discussion, and you're going to see the numbers. We're dealing with a huge problem, and we avoid to see this. We avoid to see the real problem, and we just continue buying, because our society has been based on even this is under question if it's recycled in the end. In some cases, because only poor countries, the situation, the people over there, even the small kids, the young, very young kids, they try to live out of this. And they try to get extremely beautiful. We play at the kids' movies how the villages were before this and after that, and they were amazed. I mean, it's really poor. And unfortunately, we try to explain to the kids. We actually played a movie where the guy who did in a market with poor people. They bought it from there and they brought it back to UK as a proof. But you can understand, everything is burning. So they just pile all those things, the huge piles, and they burn them. And those emit amazing quantities of dioxins and extinct. You breathe it now. Right now you breathe the fumes. And that's not good. And it's a different, disturbing, as they say, method to extract gold. But those cannot go up to 19. That's the maximum. Even all this wealth, it goes in vain. And Mr. Petoulis end up with a big triple R, reuse, reduce, recycle. If there is no one, it's either I was a very good speaker or you didn't understand anything. Yes.
Why?
The number is unlimited. So new countries, they're going to go into the project and there's no limit about the number. The original, the partners cannot change. But if you need any information, ask the school or direct me. Anything that has to do with the Tracon, I can answer your questions. And the missing colleague, Mr. Petoulis, thank you for coming here. Event like this one, the Tracon that you're going to hear with colleagues, with Mr. Constantino, me,